Hey guys, welcome back to Mike's Horror Channel. In this video, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what we know so far about Halloween Ends and what I think may or may not happen in the next film. If you're new here, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell. That way you know every time I post a new video. Alright guys, let's talk some Halloween Ends. Also, you may have noticed my background has changed quite a bit. I just moved, so nothing is where I want it yet. I just kind of threw some shit up in the background just to get this video done until I get the studio up and running. That's it. Let's move forward. What do we know about Halloween Ends? Well, so far we know that David Gordon Green and Danny McBride have no plans on moving past Halloween Ends, at least right now. I know an article recently came out and David Gordon Green said he would love to continue on the story of Myers, but there have been no talks about it. And I don't think there will be. I think they're going to stick to this trilogy. I think he's going to get this, as perfect as he can and then let someone else continue it on. I know we as Halloween fans would rather it not probably not continue past ends for the sake of having a good set of sequels of Halloween. But I think that Halloween is one of those franchises that are maybe not live forever, but I think it's going to go on for generations. So I think we're sure to get more Halloween films in the future, and inevitably some of those are going to be bad. But anyway, we're getting off topic. What we know so far, David Gordon Green, Danny McBride are not doing any more movies past Halloween Ends as it stands right now. The next thing that we know is the time jump, right? That's not really news. We found that out a while ago. But one of the things that is news is with Halloween Ends taking place in the current day, it's going to be in 2022. So they're making this 3-year time jump. The pandemic is apparently going to play some kind of role in it, and that doesn't mean they're going to get political about it, and we're going to talk left and right bullshit and COVID. And, you know what I mean? I think it might just play a background role. And a lot of people missed in Halloween Kills the sign on the wall that had a field memorial. It said vaccinate before it's too late. So I think they're already kind of putting a little bit of background noise on the pandemic. So maybe that means in 2022 people are staying in their homes, and that gives Michael a chance to be stalker Michael again, kind of watching people from the distance and getting that suspense going before killing them. Who knows? It's just an idea, but we do know that there's that time jump, and I think that's a good thing. I didn't want all three movies to take place on the same night. I think it's too much to have 18 kills and ends just all in the same. Like, how long can you drag out one night? Especially with all that has happened in the two movies already. It just makes sense to just move forward to another year, and I think it's going to work out. Also, we know that Lindsay Wallace will be in Halloween Ends. Kyle Richards is reprising her role as Lindsay Wallace. And, if you saw Halloween Kills, you know that she took a beating, but she did not die, right? She was brought by Tommy Doyle into Haddonfield Memorial Hospital with Laurie and Hawkins. So it's going to be nice to see Lindsay Wallace in one more movie. Kind of an early prediction, but I don't think she makes it past the first 40, or I wouldn't say 40, the first 30 minutes of this film. I don't see Lindsay Wallace making it. Halloween Kills had a lot going on. We had all of the returning characters, right? With Lonnie and Lamb, Lindsay Wallace, Tommy Doyle. We had Marion as well. And then we had all of the new characters, Karen and Allison, Hawkins. It's a lot. It's a lot to take in. There's a lot going on. It caused Halloween Kills to bounce around a lot, which I was fine with. And I know a lot of people weren't. But, David Gordon Green made it clear that the next movie will be much more contained, and I think that means we're not going to see a whole lot of legacy characters. We're not going to see a whole lot, maybe even of some of the newer people. I think Lindsay Wallace, unfortunately, needs to get killed off early in that film. Maybe the way Marion Chambers did in Kills. You know, she got killed off pretty early, and I think it has to happen in order to keep this film contained and not have too much going on and too many people. And her role, just when you look at Hawkins, you look at Laurie, you look at Allison, and what has transpired so far with these characters, Lindsay Wallace isn't that important. She's not needed to progress this story. So, unfortunately, I think I'd rather see her get killed off early. At the same time, I'm still excited to see her reprise the role one more time, and we get another 1978 character. Another thing we know going into Halloween Ends is Hawkins is still alive. And he ended up being one of my favorite characters because, in 2018, I think I mentioned this in a previous video, in 2018, he just wasn't that interesting, that important. I mean, he played his role. But in Kills, we find out this insane backstory about his first year on the police force and encountering Myers and accidentally killing his partner, and being one of the arresting officers to take in Myers. And then we also find out he stopped Dr. Loomis from shooting Michael in the head. So at this point in the story, he feels very responsible for what's happening in 2018. What has transpired over the course of this night, he feels is his fault because he could have prevented it. And I'd argue that his story arc is more important than Laurie's at this point. I mean, the way they set up this new timeline, and Hawkins explains in the hospital that it's not about her. It's not about Laurie Strode. That's not why he's doing any of this. So in 1978, she's just another person that he saw, stalked, and tried to kill, like he did with the rest of her friends. And she would just happen to survive. And then in 2018, Dr. Sartain, when he put Michael in the cop car, he put him in Laurie's path, or put Laurie in his path. He took Michael to the house. So Michael wasn't necessarily looking for Laurie Strode, but she was put in connection with him by Dr. Sartain. So it's never been about her. So now, arguably, not Dr. Sartain, Frank Hawkins. Hawkins' character arc is much more important than Laurie's at this point. He has a different history now with Michael. He has a different vendetta. He could have ended this. He could have killed him, and he didn't. And now a lot of people are dead, and he feels partially responsible for that, if not wholly responsible for that. So I'm more interested in Hawkins' character going into Ends than I am in Laurie at this point. She's kind of taken a back burner in this story, which I think is intentional. It's by design. I'm also curious to find out if this is going to be kind of a romantic relationship between Hawkins and Laurie. Just because we find out that, remember when they were in the hospital, Frank says he kissed Laurie. Laurie grabbed his hand, and he wanted it to be more than that, but she was more interested in Ben Tramer. And I like that little callback to Ben Tramer. So I think we're gonna fast forward into 2022 to find out those two are together, and now we have the combination of Laurie Strode, Frank Hawkins, and then Allison, and that's a deadly combination because these three people tend to be a little bit stronger and more capable when it comes to taking on Myers than the rest of Haddonfield. So it kind of makes me wonder if the three of them are going to come together to try to take on Myers. And maybe that's the containment they're talking about. Everyone else is out, and now it's them. And Allison, even her role or her character arc is more important than Laurie's at this point. Allison, she's now lost both of her parents in the same night. She wants this fucker dead. You know, she wants to get Myers. Lori was stalked. Her friends were killed 40 years ago. This is fresh for Allison. Her parents are dead. And her boyfriend's dead. Let's not forget that. She lost 3 people in the same night, plus a couple of friends. Allison's story arc is stronger than Laurie Strode's, and so is Frank Hawkins' story arc. So that's what we know going into Halloween Ends. For me, I'm not as interested in Laurie Strode as I am in Hawkins and Allison's point of view going into 2022. So that's all for now. I'll keep it short. I'm still in the process of setting up, as you can see here. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know what do you want to see going into Halloween Ends. What do you think should happen with Allison? What do you think Hawkins' role is going to be? All right. I'll see you guys in my next video.